Kristen, Jason, thank you for being on my podcast. Today, this interview, I've been looking forward to ever since we came up with the idea of doing this. I'm so excited about our conversation. One, thank you both for taking time out of your busy schedule. And Jason is out in California, so he's kind of up a little bit earlier than normal. So I appreciate you getting up to be on this podcast. And both of you all, welcome.
Thank you. Good to be here, Peter.
Thank you. Actually, I'm in Seattle, Washington.
Oh, nice. Actually, that's the fourth reference to Seattle that I've had in 3 days. Interesting. Maybe I need to go out to Seattle really, really soon. So let's start with backgrounds and short bios so the audience gets to know who you are just a little bit better. And we'll start with Kristen.
All right. Well, thanks, Peter, for having me back. I don't remember how long. I feel like we've done 2 of these before, but I'm excited to be here again, especially to talk about improv again today. So my background, I started my professional career in public accounting out in California, and I worked in that field for about 10 years with a quick visit into industry. And then 7 years ago, I stopped working in public accounting and I started my own consulting practice where I bring leadership development workshops and consulting to professional services all across the country. And more recently, have sort of developed this really great program that I'm excited to be here with you guys on my team about today called Slide Deck Improv. So we're working together on presentation skills, communication skills in business with an improv angle, and it's really fun.
Yes, I remember when you sent me the email with something similar that you found, and I think I jumped straight out of my chair. I got so excited. I said, "This is really, really cool." So I can't wait till the audience gets a great taste of this. But before we start down that path, Jason, out in Seattle.
I started my career at an accounting firm, actually working for Kristen in California.
Oh.
Spent about 3 years before I jumped ship. It didn't take me long. About 2 years into it, I asked my brothers to buy me an improv class for my birthday. And after they gave me a lot of good roasting, they did it. It was like a 8-week program, and I just fell in love with it. And I quit my job about 2 months after.
That's the epitome of improv. I took an improv class and I came into my employer and said, "I'm out of here." And actually he had to go tell Kristen that he was leaving the firm.
That's true. Although he didn't mention improv as the reason when he was leaving. But it's good to hear that that's what it was.
Jason, so what was it that you saw that made you interested in having your brothers buy this for you?
I just needed a creative outlet, I think. I'm a deeply analytical person. I think most professionals are. So I spent a lot of time in my head, and I just wanted something that was unpredictable and a little bit more in the moment. In any given moment, I'm in my head trying to digest information, and I like to go back and analyze everything before I come up with an answer. Improv gave me this tool that allowed me to live in the moment, to listen to people, and to actually engage in real time. I just love the feeling and energy of it.
Yeah, it is a great feeling that when we're able to do that, and that you saw the light. And just so the audience knows, and please correct me if I'm wrong, you since that time you have also done some acting as well.
I did improv for a little bit, and then when I quit my job, I took a part-time job doing just accounting services while taking accounting classes at night. While taking acting classes at night. After about a year, I actually made the move to LA and went to the big improv classes, UCB. Went through their foundational improv program as well.
Oh man, God, if I was your age again, I'd do the exact same thing. I think it's a great skill set in life, and actually, I'm trying to get my 18-year-old son to maybe take a gap year before going to college. I told him I'd pay for it. I sent him to Second City in Chicago for a year and just let him study on my dime. But I'm dad, and I'm an idiot, so what do I know? But it is a great skill set to have. So
Yeah. He'll have his quarter life crisis. Don't worry.
Yeah, don't we all at some point in time? All right. So my question is, and I'll point it to you, Kristen. What is Slide Deck Improv, and where did you come up with this idea?
Yeah. So I'm going to start with where the idea came from. I was talking with some people that I know locally where I live in Michigan, and one gal asked if I would be a part of this event they wanted to host, where they were going to have people come on stage and present with a PowerPoint presentation that they've never seen before. And I thought, wow, that sounds kind of different and interesting, and I've never heard of it, but I didn't really know the group, the networking group that was hosting this. I didn't know them that well, and I wasn't sure if I wanted to do it. So I told her, I was like, well, maybe, but I don't know. And I kind of kicked the can. And then she came back again and said, I really think it'd be great if you wanted to work with us on this, because you have an improv background and you obviously do a whole lot of speaking and presenting. And I was still hemming and hawing because it was an evening event. I've got a family, so I'm pretty sensitive about when I give up my evenings. But finally, I told her, I said, listen, I will facilitate it for you, because I don't know why your group wants to see me on stage for 5 minutes doing this. So we agreed to that. And it worked out really well, because I was able to bring some, kind of wrap the event with, some not formality in a stiff way, but kind of getting things in line so it would be a good event for their audience. And we just collectively, that whole team, that was the ACG West Michigan group, we knocked it out of the park. And so the idea came kind of from them. Someone on their board committee had suggested it, and then I kind of looked it up and again put some structure around it, so there'd be a little bit of learning, a little bit of practice, and just a whole lot of fun. So what Slide Deck Improv is a professional development or learning program, and it could come in the format of either sort of an event with a speaker, or for a smaller groups like the classroom learning program. And we talk about public speaking, we talk about business communication, we tie it into some improv concepts. Most importantly, we play some improv games, which is really fun with the whole audience. And then the real cornerstone of it is we do get people to come on stage. We choose a topic from the audience that nobody knows until we figure out what the topic is. We give them a slide deck with a handful of slides they've never seen before, and give them 4 to 5 minutes and let them go to town. And it's great fun to see professionals think on their feet where they ordinarily would not, have the opportunity to do that. Sort of like Jason was saying, that, most professionals really spend their time in analytical places, problem solving, working in the details, working hard, and not a lot of opportunity for creative expression at work, but presenting is one of them, and it's fun to give them a new way to do that.
It almost sounds like we're giving the professional group out there a little arch education, in the sense of we're problem solving on our feet, and actually taking our knowledge that we don't know that we have, but we have, and applying it to the situation at hand in order to make some type of success.
Yeah.
And you had sent me a video that I think that you saw, that when I saw it, I went, oh my God, this looks like it really looks like I have no net. And for me, that was exciting. For many, it would be petrifying. But there's so many benefits from doing this. And Jason, would you mind sharing some of the benefits and takeaways that you've seen when you've facilitated with Kristen from the audience on their big aha moments?
I think one of the beautiful things about improv is that it shows you what you actually do know, and that what you actually have internalized, to have a little bit more faith in your abilities, to not feel so insecure in a public realm. I think a lot of us feel like we can't do it. We don't know how to do it. We don't trust our instincts. And I think this opens up a whole new realm for people. I think a lot of people with the yes and to accept what people are giving you and to build on it is a great listening technique that people don't get taught how to listen.
Those are great points. I saw in the last couple of times that I've done this recently, that confidence piece come out in unexpected ways. And also the storytelling part of it. A lot of the technical work that people do, it just seems like it doesn't lend itself to a story. It lends itself to a spreadsheet or a bulleted list of information. But when the participants step back and take a moment to think about, okay, now I have to tell a story about this. And in the classroom workshops where we have more time for people to get into a story that's relevant to their work, they can find it. And we can find interesting pictures that can connect what's important about their message or what they're trying to persuade people to try, so that it works. It's more effective for them in terms of their communication. So a lot of cool benefits in the confidence area and the storytelling area. And as Jason said, even just giving yourself a chance to think on your feet and be vulnerable.
So let's talk about confidence. Most people are not very confident about standing in front of a room full of people and delivering anything. My question is, the participants that have done this and followed that fear and accepted yes and in the moment, and do you feel like their confidence level has quadrupled or doubled from doing a normal type of presentation? Do you think they find more confidence in themselves by, I just did something really hard and I did it well. I mean, I did it. It wasn't perfect, but that's okay.
Yeah, I would say that's a definite boost people get as a result. In terms of the multiple, I'm not exactly sure. And I do think it gets stronger in some ways the further out they get from the moment of finishing, because it, as you said, it doesn't, most people don't end it and say, oh man, that was the best presentation I've ever given. Mm-hmm. Because to them, the best presentation they've ever given is one that's scripted and prepared and on point and relates to their knowledge base. And this was totally not that. But after they get off stage and digest it and talk with their peer groups a little, then we bring them back up and talk with them about what did you learn. And when I just did this yesterday, actually, and when the group came back up and we talked with them about, what was the hardest part? What were some of the things that you had as takeaways? And they all had some interesting things to report. And you could tell that, like you said, having done it and being able to say, I got up there and I stood in front of, yesterday it was a group of young professionals, and not none of them, but each person probably only knew 2 or 3 other people in the room of 40 or 45. So for the most part, it was strangers. So you've got, I've got this one gal, she was in like the internal audit group, and she got up there and presented to all these people she didn't know, and did a great job talking through her 5 slides. And you could just tell that wasn't something she had done before, so that inherently boosted her confidence, after she got to digest, like, I just did that. It was great.
So you guys are delivering this, or I guess I can include myself in that aspect of it, to not just CPAs and financial professionals, but it also applies to other industries, other facets, and to me it sounds like that young professionals just eat this thing up.
Yeah, young professionals groups, sales groups, a lot of those people who fall into the that sort of category of, it's not my job to be speaking all the time or is a big part of what I do, but I do have to do it sometimes. Yesterday, I had some engineers come up to me afterwards and say, how do I feel like I have all this technical information that I need to share. I have lots of data that needs to be shared. What can I do about that? And we talked through how you can maybe change up what's really needs to live on your slides and what doesn't. So it's applicable to so many different groups of people.
Jason?
Yeah, I love improv because it's such a general skill. It's not just a business communication skill, it's a life skill. You can bring this into all your facets of everyday life. And that it's all about connecting with your audience. No matter who that audience is, it could be your customers, clients, a sales team, internal, external, whatever. At the end of the day, it comes to people talking to people. And if you can connect and engage people, you're going to have this newfound confidence in your work.
And it's all about building relationships. And okay, shameless plug. I published a book 3 years ago, Improv is No Joke. Use improvisation, create positive results in leadership and life. And we're talking about those same things now. Another shameless plug, in my recent book, Taking the Numb Out of Numbers, same thing. It's about storytelling. And as we're sitting here talking, I'm going, I wonder if we could get a chapter written on Slide Deck Improv and include it into the book, because it does help with building confidence and making those connections out there. I do talk about improv at the very beginning of the book, but adding that additional piece of SDI there, and I think confidence is a big thing that people lack when they're asked to present. And presenting could be presenting in a client meeting. Presenting could be, at a lunch and learn, or any time that right now the three of us are presenting to an audience of 3, and whoever many, the other 2 people that are listening to this podcast, the other 1,000 of folks who are listening at this time. But some folks just freeze up at that point. They don't have that confidence, and SDI seems to help in building at a much rapid rate. Now, I know you guys did a big thing for the Iowa Society of CPAs about a month or so ago. Is that correct?
Yep.
Yeah. Could you tell the audience what you did for them and the outcomes and the takeaways that group went away with?
Sure. So we were out there as part of an emerging leaders conference, so that dovetail with the young professionals group again. And with Slide Deck Improv, we had a short segment that covered the improv concepts and some improv games. So some of the takeaways everyone got to experience was some getting comfortable with the uncomfortable pieces, which I think really helps with that confidence part, because a lot of times we feel unconfident because we're going into a situation that's uncomfortable. And then when we give them fun, sort of safe places to fail, it helps with that. We got a few people on stage and let them go through the Slide Deck Improv presentations where they had to speak on a topic that they didn't know until they got up there with the slides that they had never seen before. And the takeaways were that sort of, I can do it, right? I've got the confidence to get up here. And it's interesting seeing different people's approaches. We had one guy who was really kind of cool and just sort of talking through his points and wanted to make a point of having people be kind to him because it was his birthday. I thought that was really fun. It was his birthday. And then we had one gal who got up there and she had to talk about printers and copiers. And she just rocked it with all of the different images. So it was a good event, and I think they all enjoyed being up there. Jason, any thing from your perspective?
I love that after we were done presenting, another person came up and asked if they can do it, without a crowd, because he just really wanted to get into it. It just showed that it was connecting with people, and they really are having a lot of fun doing it.
Yeah, I'm glad you brought that up, because that guy was. I even told that story yesterday too. He wanted to do it so badly, that he was willing to. It was a lunch break next, and we didn't have time to add another presenter, so we did the lunch break. And he said, "Can I just do it right now?" So I think Jason, it was you and me and like 1 or 2 other people in the room, and this guy standing up doing his presentation. It was great. Good point.
So
he rocked it.
But his fear was doing it in front of other people, it sounds like, or maybe he wait and didn't volunteer quickly enough?
No, we didn't have time to add him in. He would have loved to have been on the stage, but I think what stood out was his enthusiasm to do it. Like, he wasn't going to let the fact that there was no crowd stop him from doing it.
Oh, well, that's cool. I mean, it is energizing in so many ways, and to have an audience member go, "I don't care. I just want to try it. I just want to do it. I don't care who's around." But that shows the power of this stuff. I did it. I was in South Carolina at the South Carolina Association CPAs, we were doing a 2.5 day train the trainer, train the discussion. That'd be more engaging. And we had some time when we were finished. And I said, would you like to try this? And they said, sure, Pete, you can try this. I said, okay, I'll start off and I'll do it. And I had asked prior to that, one of the staff members to come up with some slides that, make 2 decks in case we get somebody else up there. And we started and I said, give me a topic. And somebody said styrofoam cup. And I went, okay, yeah, yes, and accept it, the gift that they gave me, and run with it. And once that first slide came up, my energy level went through the roof. I felt like I was jumping in a pool on a very hot day, and it was just so refreshing. And it was over like that. And I went, oh my God, that was so cool. And another guy says, I've done improv way back. Can I do it next? And got up. And basically at the end of the day, everybody in that room went, this is a great training tool. And anything that you do with presentation skills, because of that confidence, that fear, that trust, it was really, really cool. So, you guys up for some improv?
Yes.
Jason's laughing. So what we're going to do, we're going to try this. And I've created a 4-slide PowerPoint presentation with just a picture on each slide. And they have not seen it. We have not talked about it beforehand. And I was going to ask them to give me a topic, but then I was watching this real cool video of Kristen as she was practicing, and I didn't know there was a website that will just generate random words. So I found a random word generator. I'm going to generate the word, and then I'll put up this the slide deck, and then I'll share my screen with you. And then, Kristen, you start off when you see the slide, and when you're done with that slide, go click. I'll change it, and then Jason's going to take the next slide and kind of follow that thought process per se of Kristen's, and see if we can get through all 4 slides going back and forth. This is advanced level slide deck improv, I'm excited. I wish I was on your side and you guys are interviewing me at this point. So
if you want to trade places, I'm okay.
I don't think I can get there quickly enough. So we're going to try this. Random word generator comes up with friends.
Oh.
The topic is friends. Oh, this will be interesting. All right. So let's go full screen. Kristen, you ready?
I'm ready.
Hey, 1, 2, 3.
All right, everybody. I'm really excited to talk to you today about friends. And I want to describe to you the image that I have in front of me so you know what I'm seeing. It's basically a bank of power meters, like the old school kind that have the kilowatt hours and all the little dials on top and the red thing that spins around. And when you've got your air conditioning on and you go outside and look at it, it's going really fast. So there's a whole bunch of those, which is clearly closely related to friends, because when I see this, I think of the meter reader. And they used to come by my house when we didn't have one of those smart meters, and they'd come in your backyard and you'd think, hey, wait, who's that? Are they my friend? Why are they in my backyard? And I would say the meter reader is not necessarily the kind of person I would call a friend, but anybody else who's in my backyard is definitely a friend. So if you ever find yourself in my backyard, whether you're looking at the meter reader, the meter itself, you're probably a friend of mine, meter readers aside. So that's just the first thing that's important to say as it relates to friend. And now I'm going to pass this on to my friend, Jason, who's going to continue this concept.
Thank you, Kristen. Here you have an image of a kayaker kayaking into the horizon. Obviously, you could do all sorts of things with your friends. Kayaking is one of my favorite pastimes. Usually you require 2 people. One person's in front to steer, the other person in the back is for the power. That might be the other way around, actually. But it's important to have friends to have these activities, because getting out and knowing that you're not alone in the world is beneficial to your soul and to your well-being. Click.
There is another picture you really wish you were seeing right now, which is a guy in free fall on a skydive. So his parachute hasn't opened yet, and he's got a big smile on his face and a whole parachute get up. And he is the guy who's parachuting down to land at the site at which he's going to go kayaking later this afternoon. And if this guy were my friend, and he probably should be, I would totally be skydiving with him. I would be attached to the tandem dive master, because I don't really have any skydiving skills of my own, but I'm really good at, being strapped into a harness. And that too, let's bring this back to power and friends. It's really powerful to be flying through the sky at whatever meters per second things fall that I learned one time in physics class. And a great way to build a friendship is to do something really dangerous together or really scary. So try skydiving before or after the kayaking with your friend who's cool to be in the backyard, who's not the meter reader. And that would be one way to do it. And, just even the view you get from here is that sort of awe-inspiring thing that you and your friend, when you skydive together, can take with you for the rest of your life. Pick.
Here's an image of an empty stage. It's a beautiful image. It depicts how lonely it can be when you're the only person in the spotlight. Friendship is about sharing. It's about sharing the spotlight with everyone. If you're out there alone performing for a group of people, they're just strangers. You really want to invite everyone on stage, because everyone has an equal part in your life. And that's what all friendships are about. Thank you.
Oh my God. I'm trying to hold back the laughter. You guys are good. I mean, so I just grabbed some, and when it came up friends, I started thinking about the slides and went, oh, I'm not sure how they're going to do this, but man, that is Slide Deck Improv without a true net, with two people that I don't think that's ever been done before in the Slide Deck Improv era. But you guys knocked it out of the park. And I hope my audience can appreciate that this was, and you could tell by the tone of the voice and what they were saying, they'd never seen this stuff before. And they were drawn upon their knowledge, accepting the picture, leaning forward, following that fear, and absolutely nailed it. Great job, guys. Wow.
Thank you, Jason, for being a good partner in crime there. That was great.
That was really, really, great. And beforehand, we were talking about doing this, because I didn't want to just completely throw it at them and doing the tandem. And what did both of them do? Let's give it a shot. Never been done before, but let's give it a shot. And that's all about improv. Guys, I can't thank you enough for putting yourself out there and talking about this new venture that we are doing. That, Kristen, I am so glad that I met you. Somebody introduced us together, because I feel like the three of us are on the island of the accidental accountants. It's kind of like the misfit world, but it's a little bit different. And it's probably the island of improv, because it's all accepting. And this is really an exciting teaching tool that applies to everybody. And if you want to have your career continue to grow, embrace improv, and better yet, embrace a session of Slide Deck Improv. And before I let you guys go, I know that I'd like you, Kristen, if you could tell them the website. I know that you've got some videos out there. I know that you've been posting a lot on social media to get people to follow. Give us all that great information so people can find us.
Yeah, so I'll do the website piece and I'll let Jason do the rest. So if you go to slidedeckimprov.com, kind of as simple as it sounds, or search it on the web, you'll find information on the programs. You'll find bios on myself and Peter and Jason and some of the other people that support us in this program. Also, some ways you can get in touch with us if you're interested in maybe getting an outline about a program or seeing if we have availability to facilitate an event for you. We're also working on a DIY kit. So if you have a particularly small budget and want to try to do this yourself in-house, we'll set you up with the materials you need to have a fun program at a good price. So a couple of different options there. And then, Jason, you can tell them all the many, many places to find us on social media.
Yeah, you can find us on Twitter, YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, Slide Deck Improv. Just Google it. Subscribe, like, follow. You can find, we post a lot of articles about communication, leadership skills, tips, quotes, fun things. On YouTube, you can find some short clips of our past presentations that you might find quite funny, actually. So find us and keep in touch.
Yeah, speaking of the short clips they might find funny, I love the one that you guys did, the video of the group, and the guy happened to be a CPA, and his topic was botany. Yeah. And I've watched it. Every time I watch it, even though I've seen it, he was really, really good, and it made me laugh. But man, that was really powerful stuff. So guys, thank you so very much for taking time out. I look forward. Kristen, I'm going to see you in less than 10 days, I believe. I'm coming to Grand Rapids for an event that you have lined up, and I'm looking forward to doing that with you. Hopefully, Jason, our paths will cross. Apparently, I need to come out to Seattle, so maybe I'll just take a trip and come out and visit for a while and then come back. But it's been a pleasure. Personally, I think the three of us could probably talk for hours on improv. And we have, yeah, but we'll give the audience a little rest. But for those of you who are listening, think about what you witnessed. Think about what we discussed. Go out and find us, read the stuff, and contact us. We're here to help guide and help you guys become better in the business world. So thank you all very much, and we'll see you on the next episode.